When Noah Carter walked into the quiet community center of Maple Grove, he had no idea that one simple quiz would change his life. He was 71, a retired math teacher, widower, and a quiet man who spent most of his days tending to his garden, chatting with his neighbor Martha over coffee, and watching old westerns. But this wasn't a regular Tuesday. A flyer had caught his attention the week before, pinned crookedly on the community bulletin board. Think you're a memory mastermind? Take the 30-question challenge. Only 2% ace more than 9. First, Noah chuckled at it. But as he walked away, something about the challenge gnawed at him. He had always prided himself on his sharp memory and mental clarity. Even in his later years, he never forgot birthdays, never missed a grocery item, and could still recite pi up to 50 digits. So here he was, sitting in a small room with 15 other participants, most of them much younger than him. A digital projector displayed a welcoming screen. Welcome to the Memory Mastermind Challenge. The host, a friendly, energetic woman in her 30s named Amanda Blake, stood up in front of the group. She wore a bright smile, her voice warm but firm. This is not your regular quiz, she began. These questions are crafted to test your short-term memory, your pattern recognition, and your attention to detail. No one has ever answered all 30 correctly. And so far, only 2% get more than 9 right. Noah raised an eyebrow. Amanda continued. Each question will only appear for 10 seconds. Then it disappears. You'll write your answer. No going back. No help. Ready. The room was silent. The first question appeared. Remember this number. 719388264. Noah stared at it, repeated it quietly in his head. Vanished. Then a question appeared. What was the third digit of the number? Noah scribbled 9 confidently. A few younger contestants were already shaking their heads. The questions rolled on. Some were visual memory puzzles. A series of colored shapes appeared, then vanished, followed by a question like, what color was the triangle? Others were more verbal. A short sentence would flash, and a question would ask about specific word order. By question 15, several contestants looked frustrated. Noah, however, remained calm. His years of teaching had trained his brain to absorb, retain, and deliver. Question 17 showed a picture of a crowded beach scene. Children playing, a man with an umbrella, a dog chasing a ball. After it vanished, the question was, how many people were wearing hats? Noah closed his eyes. He could still see it. He wrote 4. Beside him, a woman named Olivia, probably in her late 20s, was visibly annoyed. How do you remember that? She whispered. Noah chuckled. Decades of staring at chalkboards and catching who was passing notes behind my back. Question 22. In the list, apple, train, mirror, candle, spoon, monkey. Which item was fifth? Noah wrote spoon before the host could say, begin. By question 24, Amanda gave them a break. Take 5. We're almost done. You're all doing great. People poured out of the room into the hallway, grabbing water or checking their phones. Noah stayed seated. His hands were calm, fingers interlocked. He wasn't doing it to win a prize. There was none. But something inside him wanted to prove he still had it. That even at 71, his mind was not slipping. Amanda returned and smiled. Mr. Carter, I have to say, you've got quite the poker face. He smiled. Just trying to stay ahead of the questions. The final few questions were the toughest. One of them flashed a complex maze with a small red dot. 10 seconds. Then it asked, which direction did the red dot exit the maze? Noah visualized it, his mind tracing the route backward. He answered top left. When the last question ended, Amanda stood and clapped. You've all completed the Memory Mastermind Challenge. Give yourselves a hand. People applauded, but they were more eager to know how they had done. Amanda read out the statistics. The average correct score today is 6. 5 people scored between 3 and 5. 2 got 8 correct. 1 person got 14. Heads turned. Murmurs spread. Amanda looked at Noah. Would you please stand up, Mr. Carter? He looked confused but stood slowly. You scored 14 correct answers out of 30. That's not just rare. That's nearly double the highest score we've had in 6 months. A small round of applause echoed in the room. Olivia stared at him, mouth slightly open. Are you a memory coach or something? Noah laughed. No, I taught algebra for 40 years. Guess I've just trained my brain. Amanda walked over to him with a smile. You've got something very special, Mr. Carter. Most people your age, and even much younger, don't come close to this. Noah sat down again, his heart light. It wasn't about the score. It was the validation. The years hadn't dulled him. They'd refined him. After the session, Olivia approached him in the parking lot. Hey, would you maybe consider doing a few memory training sessions? Like informal ones. I really want to get better at this stuff, and honestly, watching you work was inspiring. Noah considered it. Sure. I've got nothing but time. Word spread in the community. Within a month, Noah was holding brain boost classes at the community center every Thursday morning. At first, it was just Olivia and her cousin Jeff. Then others came. Martha brought her grandkids. Amanda stopped by to thank him. Your group has tripled attendance at the center, she said with a grin. The exercises were simple but effective. Flash memory drills, observation walks, detail recall games. But more than that, the community that formed around those sessions brought something else. Purpose. Noah noticed that some regulars who were withdrawn or lonely now laughed more. He saw retirees regain confidence, young adults set new goals, and children challenge themselves to remember longer word lists. It all started because one man took a quiz. Months passed. One day, Amanda returned with exciting news. A local news station is doing a segment on sharp minds over 70. I gave them your name. Noah chuckled, but he agreed. When the news team arrived, he shared his story simply. I'm not a genius, he said into the microphone. But I never stopped exercising my brain. Age isn't a limit. It's a milestone. And memory, it's like a muscle. If you train it, it stays strong. The piece aired across the region. Memory Mastermind of Maple Grove, they called him. He became a minor local celebrity. Even the mayor showed up to one of his sessions, bringing a proclamation honoring his contribution to senior mental health. But through it all, Noah stayed grounded. Every Tuesday, he still tended to his garden. Every Wednesday, he still had coffee with Martha. And every Thursday, he stood at the whiteboard, now smiling at a room filled with eager learners of all ages. Years later, long after the Memory Mastermind Challenge was discontinued, people still talked about the old teacher who remembered everything, who turned a simple quiz into a community movement. And when new residents came to Maple Grove and heard about the weekly brain boost class run by the legend named Noah Carter, they always asked the same thing. Can you really ace those 9 of 30 questions? And the answer, thanks to one extraordinary man, was yes, and more.